Hi and welcome back to
You Can't Say That
with Emma
and Abby. Thank you for coming back to listen to us.
So today we're going to do a little follow-up on our podcast that was titled Toddlers, Tantrums and Poogate.
We actually got so much feedback from that.
We did.
Loads of funny, you guys sent in loads of funny stories that your kids have done, so thank
And
you
off the
for
back
that.
of it as well, we did some polls because we had some more questions that sort of come up and we just wanted different opinions on, because I'd say our parenting styles are fairly similar.
Yeah.
So yeah, we wanted to explore a little bit more about how other people do things and how other people perceive things with parenting. So it was really, really interesting. We'll start it off with one of the polls that we got our listeners to answer. And well, we asked lots. We asked some questions and we asked some polls. So I'm just going to bring up the first one. Which was, what is your parenting style and how would you describe it? So what would you say your parenting style is, Anne?
Chilled, laid back, go with the flow, pick my battles, definitely.
Yeah.
I never used to be with Harper. I was quite, I wouldn't say strict, but I had like a routine. But now with the two of them, I'm just like, oh, easy life, whatever.
I think when you have more than one, it all changes.
Completely changes. So yeah, now I'd say I'm more chilled out, which is probably not a good thing because it's harder. I'm more chilled out, but I definitely go. There's no set really discipline in my house, which is quite bad, I suppose.
No, it's not bad. Nothing, nothing. No parenting style is bad. I would say it's whatever works for you. It sounds like what you kind of do is for an easy life here and there might kick you in the arse a bit later down the line.
Definitely does. But at the time,
it does it for all of us.
I need an easy life.
Yeah.
So
I'd say my parenting style, I come across as like a really fun mum.
Yeah,
like I'm always having fun with her, and like other kids kind of gravitate towards me because I'm always playing But I am quite strict actually.
I can't imagine you
No
being
one
strict
can.
at all.
Honestly, I run a tight ship in this house. I do. My pets obey me. My kid obeys me. As you know, to an extent. Obviously, she's 3 years old and she is full of sass and attitude. So I don't always get obeyed as such. But Penelope knows when my tone of voice changes to a certain level.
Yeah.
She knows we don't fuck with mum right now. Like I've gone too far. So I feel like that's worked really well for me because she doesn't really misbehave. It's a madhouse, but it's a madhouse in a nice way. She's not a horrible kid. She's not really rude to me. Very, very rarely. Only when she's sort of testing the boundaries like they do at this age. But yeah, I am quite strict with her. She knows how far she can get with me.
Yeah, she knows.
And then she reins it back in. So yeah, I think people would be quite surprised to know that I am pretty strict.
Yeah.
My niece and nephew, they're terrified of me.
Really?
Yeah. And you wouldn't think that either. No. I'm so close to them.
Yeah, because you're with them all the time.
Genuinely, like they say to me, they are actually scared of me.
Really?
Yeah, because I don't take shit in life, and I don't take shit in parenting either. And I treat them all the same because I'm so close to them. Like I will talk to them in the same way I would like talk to Penelope, and a lot of people wouldn't. Like if P's being naughty at my sister's, I say to my sister, "Tell her off," and she's like, "No, I can't." And I'm like, "I tell your kids off."
Yeah, you need to tell her.
Like I pretty much treat all children the same. Once I know them, obviously, like my friends' kids as well. If they're getting a bit rude to their mum or something, I'll step in and be like, "What are you talking to?"
Yeah, my children aren't rude. They have got really good manners.
They are. Your kids lovely.
Really important. Like Penelope, really good manners.
Manners are
so
life.
Important. So important. But with things like, I don't know, when she does push my button, sometimes I'm just like, I'll look at her and give her that look and she'll know. And then she'll either stop or carry on and I'll just be like, just carry on, honestly.
Yeah, it is like that sometimes.
I used to try the naughty step. That is just... that just goes out the window.
They just get straight off it.
Exactly.
I don't know how it works for anyone.
Yeah, people used to say to me, "Oh, try the naughty step," but I just can't do it anymore because she just gets straight back off, and then I end up laughing at her, going, "Oh, come on then, like, don't worry about it."
People go put them back on it. I'm like, what, constantly for the entire day? Because she genuinely won't stay there. I think I've tried it twice.
And it's hard. Like, how do you discipline a 3-year-old?
It is hard. It's really hard because a 3-year-old is generally not naughty. Like they're generally not. They're not bad. Like I can't think of a 3-year-old that I know that is a bad person. They are a product of their surroundings.
Yeah, that's so true.
So if they're a bully, you know, it's probably coming from their home life. But as a general, 3-year-olds, they're just testing the boundaries. They're seeing how far they can get, how far they can push you, what they can get away with.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so important. Like, I find it really works for me. I set very clear boundaries with Penelope. There is the odd occasion. My mum and sister are probably listening to this thinking, get fucked, am I? She's a little shit sometimes. But she is. But it's not abnormal. She's not an abnormal amount of naughty. She's the perfect amount of naughty for her age. Yeah. But, you know, you do see other kids who are just running riot and causing chaos and just menaces, and I'm like, oh God, that kid needs to be reined in. Yeah. Like, it's our job. Yeah. It's our job.
It's definitely our job, and I do struggle with that sometimes.
It is tough.
I definitely feel like, especially Harper, because she's obviously 4 now, she's got the upper hand over me. And then obviously Fia's 1, she copies everything Harper does. It's just like, what do I do? Where do I go? I don't want to shout at them, but I feel like I have to, for them to listen to me, I have to raise my voice, because they're so loud, they're screaming and shouting at me. I have to shout over them, and then they're like, oh shit, mummy means business. Yeah. We better back down now a little bit. But I feel so guilty when I shout at them.
I don't feel guilty when I shout. I shout a lot. I have to raise my voice. I have to put that authority over her to make her realise. I just don't think it would work if I were to sit her down. I've tried sitting her down and having conversations, and after she has had like a meltdown or a tantrum, I do take her and sit her down with me, and I'll say, Mummy was upset because of this. This is what you did. Do you understand? And I really do try that, and I think as she gets older that could work. But at this stage, it's like I get a blank look. Yeah. She's looking past me, like, and then like I'll be like, do you understand that smacking Mummy is very, you know, it hurts Mummy, it makes me sad. That's not how you want to make people feel. And then she'll go, where's my Thomas the Tank Engine? And I'm like, this is fucking going in one ear and out the other.
At that age, like you said, they're testing.
This doesn't work at this age, not for me. Yeah. Shouting, it does work. I do shout at her very bloody loud sometimes. And like I have had moments where afterwards I think, oh my God, I'm actually a monster. Yeah, like I'm the worst person in the world.
Mum guilt is so bad, isn't it?
Oh, it's awful.
I always feel like, oh, why have I done that? And I'm at night time, because they're the worst from like between 4 to 6, like that bedtime, they go crazy. And then I'm like, I can't wait for them to go to bed. I can't wait to put them in bed. I put them in bed. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad. I missed them. Like I shouted at her before she went to bed, and I just feel so bad. But she obviously doesn't remember it the next day, or she's absolutely fine. But I do have to raise my voice with them for them to listen to me. Or if she's being really, really naughty, sometimes I do, like you said, I'll sit her down and I'll find out what the problem is. Yeah. And then she'll tell me like, oh, this happened, or I'm upset or naughty because of this happened. So there is always a reason why she's being naughty, or she's like 4 now, so she just wants to test my boundaries.
Yeah. But they are very testing. But they're also like, they're trying to regulate their emotions, and they can't do that at this age. It's impossible for them to do. Their brain is not mature enough for them to actually regulate how they're feeling. So if P, for example, she went through a phase of really smacking me, and I was thinking, why is she hitting me? Like, I've never hit her in my life. She doesn't see smacking. She hasn't been around violence. Why is she hitting me? And like, me in particular wouldn't hit a single other person. And honestly, Ab, she was belting me to a point where I would be in tears sometimes, like, fucking hell. She's so violent to me. Yeah. And I figured it out in the end. I tried to work out what were the triggers that were leading her to do this. And in the end, every single time she hit me, it was because she was embarrassed. Yeah, if she fell over and hurt herself, she got embarrassed, and she would run over and she would smack me, and I'd be like, whoa, why have you, like, I'm trying to see if you're okay. Yeah. I didn't push you, I had nothing to do with that. I just want to check if you're all right. But she'd be hitting me, and it stemmed from embarrassment, and that's where her anger was coming out. She didn't know how to regulate feeling embarrassed, so she used violence with the safest space that she knows, which is me. That's why she wouldn't hit anybody else, because she's not in a safe, I'm all forgiving. She knows that. I'm all loving. I would do anything for her, and she's fully aware of that. So I'm the person who gets the brunt of all of her anger. And her anger was stemming from embarrassment.
Oh, bless her.
It stopped now. Because I've figured it out, I've kind of figured out what was causing it. Now when she gets hit, when she falls, I deal with it in a really different way. I'm like, I'm very tiptoey. I'm like, I make a joke of it. I'm like, oh, what did that silly wall do to you? And she'll start laughing, and she won't feel so embarrassed that I've actually ran into a wall. Like, I'm so embarrassed I did that. I'm going to be so angry and, take it out. Now, I nip it in the bud and make a joke,
Yeah.
and we tell off the wall, and
Yeah.
she just doesn't hit, and then she'll come and hug me.
And go smack the wall
Yeah,
instead.
we tell off the wall.
That's what I do.
And then she'll like let me kiss where it hurts, and so that's really worked for me. But yeah, it's a lot of their tantrums definitely stems from not being able to regulate their emotions, and we get so angry with them when they're. Another thing as well, when she shouts, a lot of people would be like, "Don't shout." I'm all for shouting. I'm like, scream it out, kid. Go fucking mental. Scream the walls down. Scream the house down. Do what you've got to do, because all these little feelings that are inside of her that are bubbling up. If I'm like, don't scream, sit there and be quiet. That's all boiling up inside of her. And that's
they need to
let it out.
Just,
I'm like, scream where you want. I don't even react to her screaming anymore. Like if she's shouting, I'm like, don't you shout at me. I'm like, shout what you want.
I try not to.
We'll try and talk after.
They both just scream at each other, and then I try not to. I'm like, oh, they're only kids, let them scream, let them shout, and then it gets to the point where I'm like, stop screaming in this fucking house, oh my god. And then the dogs are barking, the kids are screaming. I get what you mean, that is their way of letting out. They need to. I say just going to bottle it up all inside. So.
I mean, I say this is how I parent. This is how I parent when I'm consciously parenting. Yeah. But when, sometimes it's too much, and we burn as well.
Yeah.
And it's the same for us. Sometimes I do lose my shit, and I'm like, shut up. But when I'm like consciously parenting her and I'm understanding what's going on, I'm in a good place, and I'm like, I'm parenting well.
Yeah. It's finding out why they're misbehaving, because there's always a reason. Like they've obviously something's happened at nursery, or they're worrying about things. Yeah. And obviously that is their way of getting it out, being naughty.
Yeah, exactly.
They're just obviously they're toddlers. I mean, you've got to let them.
They could be tired. They could be like, feeling a bit shitty, having a bad day for whatever reason, and they're just in a shit mood. Like we're adults and we get in shit moods. Like we can't expect them to be different to us.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm in the mood sometimes, and I'm thinking, why is she not happy all the time? It's because she's probably mummy's rubbing off on her. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what's so hard as well? I know obviously you're not a single parent, but you do pretty much lone parent because you don't live with your partner. Yeah. So you are as good as, in no disrespectful way at all, single parenting.
Yeah, and he doesn't parent. So when he is around, obviously I'm the one who disciplines them. I'm the one who does pretty much everything. So when he's around, he's like, I'm thinking, you can't tell them off for that, because that's, do you know what I mean? It is hard. So he's like, why are you not, when Harper's like being naughty or being rude, he's like, why are you not telling her off or putting her in her room? And I'm like, that's not what I do.
Yeah, it's not how I do it.
Yeah, I have started putting her in her room, to be fair, because obviously she smacks Fia quite a lot, and then Fia will go back and smack her, so they're hitting each other, and I'm thinking, they can't hit each other, because if they go to nursery and start smacking other children, they're going to be like, what the hell's going on? So I do put her in her room sometimes for like a time out, but she's up there trashing her room, kicking the gate off, screaming. I'm thinking, my neighbours must be thinking, what is going on in there?
I think that. I wonder sometimes, I don't know how I haven't had socials.
I know. They must be thinking, what is going on in your house? So I'm like, right, you need to go upstairs, calm down, like don't shout, calm down, and when you've calmed down and say sorry, you can come out. Yeah. And then she'll be like, Mummy, I'm sorry, and then she'll calm down. So I find that does help, but I even hate putting her in her room for 5 minutes. I literally hate it, because I go downstairs and I'm like, I can just hear her like trashing their room upstairs.
See, my problem, what I have is I can't put P in her room because it's full of toys. Yeah. She won't sit there and be punished. Like,
she'll play.
Yeah, and she's relentless. Like, she will come straight out the room and try and find me. She literally is relentless with me. Like, the only thing that's really worked for me is I put her on the sofa. So instead of like a naughty step, I'll put her on the sofa.
For a time out.
I'm like, you've got 5 minutes there to think about things. Like, I'm not ignoring her. Like, I'll walk away. She'll be going trying to talk to me, Mummy.
They hate being ignored.
I'm sorry, and I'm like, thank you for saying sorry, but I don't want to talk to you for 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes of you not talking to me, and that kind of works with her. But what I find so hard about being a single parent, which you'll understand, is there's no like, can you just get her away from me for 10 minutes, please? Yeah. I need to go in another room and breathe. I need to gather myself. I need to calm down. Yeah. Because I'm human as well.
Do you ever go hide in the bathroom?
She followed, like,
I completely understand.
No hiding place.
I need 5 minutes sometimes just to like gather my thoughts and be myself, and it's so hard. You've got no one else to be like, oh, can you just take over for 5 minutes? Yeah. Like, even when Lewis is there, I'm like, I can't even say that to him, because he's like, oh, what do I do? And obviously he is good, like he does discipline them as well, and he does help parent, but it's my obviously parenting styles, and sometimes he just doesn't understand, like men really don't really. So I'm like, I just need 5 minutes, so I do go and hide in the bathroom, but I don't get 5 minutes because they're both at the door like, Mummy, Mummy, or they'll follow me everywhere. But
I just get followed like a shadow. There's no time. There's no chill time for us to recoup or anything like that.
Yeah, unless when they're in bed. and that's when the mum guilt comes in. You're like, oh, maybe I should have done that differently today, or maybe next time I'll try something different.
The amount of times, like, she has been told off before bed, and I've literally laid there watching her fall to sleep and cried, and like been whispering to her like,
I love you.
I love you.
Sorry.
I love you, baby.
Yeah.
She won't say it back, and I'm like, P,
I love you.
love you. Until I keep saying it, so when she says it back, I'm like, right, we're good. And then I come downstairs, and then you do get a 1 hour, 2 hours, but I'm exhausted by it. Like,
and that's your time. You need to cook your dinner in that time. You need to like chill by yourself, like just do your own thing. But sometimes you just literally don't get the time to do that.
No.
At all. But what other we said about?
Yes, let's go back to the polls.
About what was another good one?
So, some other people's parenting skills was firm but fair. That was quite popular. Too relaxed. That was really popular as well.
I think I'm too relaxed. I think.
Yeah, maybe you are, but you've got 2 children, so it's.
I used to be firm but fair. I'm going to try and start being firm but fair, but at the moment I'm too relaxed. But it's literally kicking me in the arse.
Completely winging it. I think a lot of us.
I think we all do that. I Google everything still. Or my mum. I'm like, Mum, Harper's doing this. Harper's done that. My mum will just laugh, going, ha! That was what you like when you was a child. So I'm just like, oh, yeah, exactly.
Then we had with first child, I was child led. Second child, whatever gets you through the day. So that's really similar to you.
Whatever gets me through the day.
Yeah.
But I know that is going to have to change when they start going to school and they get a bit older, because.
Yeah.
But just those were quite similar.
So we asked as well about TVs, iPads, like electronics, TV time, things like that. So we asked, do you have a set TV, iPad, electronics time? 81% of people said, and absolutely anything goes, and 19% said yes, we have set times. Nobody said like we don't do TV in our house. So I mean that's a given pretty much in this day and age. But yeah, I was a bit surprised that the 81% of people are like whatever goes, because I thought we're whatever goes, but I thought a lot more people would be stricter, like no, they have TV time.
Just shows that they help. iPads
help. It does help.
When you're in that situation.
Lifesaver.
Get the iPad and get the TV on.
So the next one was, how do you discipline your child? So the 4 options: give them choices, time out, naughty step, or rarely I pick my battles. I think you answered rarely I pick my battles, didn't you? I answered I give them choices. That was the most popular, 50%.
What is give them choices?
Yeah, so by give them choices, like I've tried all of the disciplines, but what works for me and Penelope, for example, P, we've got to go get your shoes on. I don't want to put my shoes on. Okay, well, here's your choices. If you either go and put your shoes on, you come out with mummy, or you stay here, I'll get a babysitter in.
Yeah.
No, I want to come with you, mummy. Well, then you get your shoes on, and I don't give chances. Like, I'm like, you either do that, like they're your 2 options. So I always give her choices, literally constantly giving her choices. If she won't put a certain outfit, I mean, at the moment I'm having nightmares with outfits because all she wants to wear is glitter, fucking pink unicorn horns.
Dresses.
Yeah. But like, I try to give her choices with everything. Like, even with her behaviour, say if she's not behaving in the evening, I'll say, you've got 2 choices here. Continue what you're doing. You don't get any books in bed tonight. And she knows I'm serious. Like, I don't give her a book. Or I say, stop doing that now, apologise to mummy, and you can have your books.
Yeah.
So I find that really, really works for me, giving her all these different choices. And it's really good as well, I think, for like building her own self-esteem, confidence and personality, because she's making good decisions. And she says it to me now all the time as well, even if we're having like a little argument, and I'll be like, I need to brush your hair because we're going out. She'll go, well, here's your choices, mummy. You've got 2 choices. I don't brush my hair, or I don't want to brush my hair, and that's your choices.
Oh, bless her.
I'm like, it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it makes
but
no
like,
sense.
I'm like, she's getting it. She's understanding. Like, we have choices in life. It's up to her to make the right ones, and whatever decision, whatever choice she takes, whatever decision she makes, that's gonna determine the outcome of what the rest of her day is gonna be, or how her evening's gonna go, or what she's gonna get from me. So I think it's really. I love that this works for me, because it's sort of building her as well.
I'm like bribery. If you don't get your shoes on, you're not having that biscuit. Or if you get your shoes on, mummy will get you a little treat after nursery.
I do that as well.
That always wins in my house, but then that's probably going to come around and bite me on the ass as well. Yeah. Then I've got fear. She's like, oh, I want a cupcake. Like, I'll put my shoes on. Where's my cupcake? But yeah, choices is a good one. I think I should start trying that one. That's a good one.
It really works. Yeah. Like, I find it really works, and I see like a change. I see changes in her since we've started doing that. I've been doing it for a while now. and I really like how it
That was
works.
the most popular one.
Yeah, that was 50%.
Yeah, I need to
The
start
next
trying that
one was what you said, 32% of people picking their battles, 18% of people use the naughty step. Tell me how the fuck you do that, because I don't get how it works. How do you get them to stay
on
there?
the naughty step?
No one uses timeouts. I've used timeouts before. It doesn't
Yeah,
really
no, I
work
use
for me.
timeout when I put, like I said, when I put her in her bedroom,
Yeah.
I say, right, you need 5 minutes, calm yourself down, mummy will be downstairs, but I obviously sit on the stairs and just like make sure she's okay and listen to her. But I'd say that's a timeout, and it does work in the end, because obviously she wants to be downstairs playing with her sister. She's up in her room on her own, and she can't get out of her room because there's a baby gate, because her and Thea share a room, so she doesn't know how to work that baby gate yet. So that does actually work for us, a timeout, because she's like, oh, I'm being left out, like I'm up here on my own.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, so that works. And this one is an interesting one. The next one about the to smack or not to smack.
Right, yeah, this was interesting. This is very, I think it's a touchy, controversial subject for sure. So we had loads and loads of answers. 85% said no, we don't smack, it's abuse. And 15% do smack, and they say it works. What's your opinion on that?
So I would say no smacking, but I've definitely threatened to smack her bum before. 100%, and she'll be like, no, so it works, but I've never had to, but when I was younger, my mum and dad used to threaten me all the time. Like my dad would be like, oh, I'm going to get the belt out, or I'm going to put mustard down your mouth, or things like that, and it works, so I'd be like, no.
And did he ever actually do it?
No, never actually did it.
So it was threat, it wasn't actual bit, it was threats.
Yeah, he never actually did it, but yeah, I've definitely threatened Harper with me smacking her bum. Like, I'm like, if you know, it gets to that point, you've tried everything and she's still playing me, so I'm like, right, I'm going to have to smack your bum in a minute. And she'll be like, no, mummy, no. So, but I definitely wouldn't smack her.
You don't think you would ever reach the point where you would actually just smack her?
I've got to that point. I've definitely reached that point where I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to smack her bum in a minute, but I actually haven't, because I feel guilty when I shout at her, so I just think I would feel absolutely horrendous if I did that. But if it works for you, then obviously if you're not abusing them, if you're not literally like freaking flooring them or like literally punching them in the face, if it's just like a tap on the bum and it works for you. Because when obviously going back in time, people used to get caned in schools and things, didn't they?
Yeah, my mum did.
Like literally. So I don't agree with it personally. I've never had to. She's never pushed, like she's only a toddler, so she's never pushed me to that limit where I've obviously had to smack her. But I've definitely threatened her with a smack bum before, and she's been like, whoa, no. So yeah.
So I am completely and utterly, absolutely against any form of smacking.
It is abuse,
like,
really, isn't it?
So against it. I could have been more against it if I tried. I would even go as far as to, like, if I was to sit here and say I don't judge people who do smack, I'd be lying.
Yeah,
because I do judge people who smack. I don't agree with it. I think it's fucking disgusting, to be quite honest.
It is abuse, isn't it? Basically.
Yeah, it is. And I just, if you smack your child to get them to do what you want them to do, what are you teaching that child?
That it's okay to smack.
When you grow up, if you're not getting what you want, you hit someone.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get it, because that's what your mum and dad did to you, or your nan and granddad did to you, or whatever. That's my biggest reason for being against it. It's completely teaching them the absolute wrong message. I just don't agree with it at all. I think it's fucking insane in this day and age that people would still hurt their child to get what they want out of them. Like, it's... This is so controversial as well for me to say. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me, but people who don't agree with me, I couldn't give a fuck, to be honest. I think it's so wrong. So fucking wrong on every level. I wouldn't even threaten to, and I'm not saying like,
I'm going to smack your bum.
Yeah, I don't think that that's wrong. Like, threats are, they're warnings almost, but it's not something I would do. Just again, I think I'm so over the fucking top with this view, because I have been abused, not by smacks by my parents. I mean by like
partners and things.
I've been abused. I've been hit, and the damage that it caused me and my mental health, like, that is something I would never inflict on my child. I wouldn't even threaten to smack. I've never said to her, I'm going to smack you if you carry on.
Yeah.
Because to me, that's almost as bad as actually doing it. That's teaching them that you can say that to people. That's okay to say to people.
Yeah, and
like it's okay to
if you
threaten
obviously
people.
do, then they're thinking, oh well, my mummy smacks me, so if someone does something to me in school or nursery, I'm going to smack them back. Yeah.
I mean, smacking back is a different thing altogether.
Yeah,
for
but
me.
it's still teaching them that that's obviously
violence isn't okay on
not.
any level. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm 1,000,000% against smacking children, against smacking anyone really.
And
to be honest.
so I've been out in situations before, like in public, when you see a mum smack that is so uncomfortable to me.
I saw
in a
something.
supermarket or something, you see like I've before witnessed someone like smack their child, like, and I'm thinking, oh my god, it's just so uncomfortable. I'm thinking that poor child. Like obviously you don't know what's happened in that situation, but still, like especially when they're this age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They don't know right from wrong at this age, and we're the one who's meant to teach them right from wrong.
All we teach you by smacking is that smacking's fine.
Yeah, the smacking's okay.
Smacking's alright.
It's not.
Get what you want when you smack.
Yeah, but I have been in those situations before where I've been like, right, I'm gonna smack your bum if you don't listen to mummy, but I would never ever. It is
I've
abuse.
got to points where I've literally reached like boiling point, and I've looked at her and I've literally been like,
is it gonna help?
I could hit her right now. Like I'm so enraged. I never would, and I would never threaten it either.
But you get to that point.
Honestly, I have got to that point where I look at her like I'm so angry. I need to like lock myself in a room and fucking punch a wall or something. Because I'm like, somebody needs to please take this child away from me because I'm gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
Obviously, I never would, but I have in my head reached that point.
But
as a person, I would never cross that line. I would never cross that line.
It's not teaching them any good.
No, and it's violence. Like they're little, they're small. Why would you ever want to hurt, inflict a pain on them?
Like we said, we feel guilty when we're shouting at them.
Yeah.
Like imagine. Like obviously, some parents obviously do it, and if that's your parenting style, but I just couldn't live with myself if I hurt like.
No, I think it's awful, and I think it should be illegal.
Yeah, even when Harper hurts herself, like if she'll do something to herself, like bump her head or trap her finger in a door, she did a few weeks ago. I literally cry. I feel so bad for her. I'm like, oh my god, I hate seeing her in pain. So for me to be the one to inflict that pain on her, like, oh my god, I just wouldn't be able to live with myself.
I think if you hit your child to get them to stop doing what they're doing, I think then it's weak of you.
Yeah, and
it's
then
an easy way out, and it's so
them.
Weak. And you're sending the wrong message, and it's in my eyes, it's abuse.
And I bet they will still do it. I bet like a week later they'll obviously forget and they'll still do it.
Yeah,
like, they're children.
Yeah,
they're obviously
children.
They're going to test your limits. They're going to be naughty. So I'm completely agree with you. Smacking, like we said, a form of abuse.
Yeah, but I think it is.
Definitely, especially at this age.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. If Penelope was 16 years old and she came at me and hit me,
I
probably would hit her back.
Yeah.
But the amount of times I've been hit by Penelope, punched, kicked,
oh my
everything.
god, same. Have you been bitten before? Oh,
she only bit me once, but it was an excited bite. It wasn't an angry bite. She got excited and bit my shoulder when she was really young. But I've been punched in the face. I've been kicked. I've had things thrown at me. Not once have I ever thought I'm gonna hit you back.
Yeah, no, of course not. Especially no way. That's
agree.
that is when they've got to that point when Harper's hitting me and when she's biting me. That when she's obviously that angry and upset. That is when I just sit her down, calm her down, and then I find out what's wrong with her.
Yeah.
Obviously something else is wrong with her for her
Something's
to do that.
happened.
Because that is when she's only done that a couple of times to me, but that is her extreme behaviour. I'm thinking, oh my god, like I wouldn't think I'm going to turn around and smack her back. Like that is just absolutely disgusting. Like,
I think so.
People
I can't get my head around it.
Completely.
I cannot get my head around it.
But I've definitely threatened to smack her bum before.
And I was smacked as a kid. I was.
Yeah, no, I
Mum
wasn't.
used to smack my bum as a kid.
I was definitely smacked in the bum and stuff, and like
I had my bum
hit my
smacked.
hand and things like that.
I remember my mum's gonna kill me for saying this, but I remember when I was younger, me and my sister was so naughty, and my mum used to shake me and be like, "You're gonna give me a nervous breakdown," and I'd be there like, and my sister would be there going, "You're gonna kill her," and like these things. Like, I don't think badly towards my mum. Like it hasn't sent a message to me where I've grown up to be violent or anything like that, and it didn't damage me, I don't think.
No.
But my opinion still is,
yeah,
I would never do it. I think it's so completely wrong. It was a different time back then as well. We're
Completely
talking 30 years
different
ago.
time.
Everything was different.
I used to get threatened to get smacked all the time when I was younger. I grew up with two older brothers, so they were like literally always push the boundaries, and they were always fighting. But I remember when my dad used to come, my mum would be looking after us all day, and like my dad would come home, and mum would be like, right, they've been little shits today, you need to do this. And my dad would be like, right, am I gonna have to smack your bum? And I'd be like, oh, run upstairs and know that he means shit. But they never ever did hit me, but they would literally get to that point and they're like, oh, I'm going to smack your bum. But I've definitely been at that point with Harper, but the thought of doing that would never cross my mind. Like, literally.
If it ever does, if you ever get close,
I'll
phone me. I'll tell ya. Don't do it, Abby.
I know, because like I said, when I've seen this woman out in the supermarket do it, I just felt like, oh my God, I just didn't know where to look. I felt so uncomfortable.
Well, I was in McDonald's, it was about a year ago, and I was sat with Penelope, and there was a man and a woman, and they had a baby that was a few months old, and they had a little boy who was, he looked about a year older than P, so at the time I think he must have been about 3 or 4, and they were, I've never seen anything so vile. They were, honestly, it was the worst thing I've probably seen. They were being so nasty to him. They were like whispering to him, like, you little fucking prick, and really abusive. And then the little boy kept crying. They were going, stop crying. The dad was saying, stop crying, or I'm going to fucking punch you. And the mum was going, did you hear him? And then Appy, the dad punched the little boy in the head. He punched the little boy in the head. No.
See, that is...
It was horrendous.
That's the point where I would have had to probably call someone.
Well, what happened after that, I had Penelope with me, and I'm not the sort of person who sits and watches things, but I'm very careful with P about losing my temper, because that's the situation where if I'd have approached it, maybe I would have got punched, and I've got my little baby with me, so I was sensible. I left, I came home, didn't stop thinking about it, and I phoned social services and I phoned the police, and then something came up on a Facebook group that I'm part of. A girl had written in there, I've just seen this happen in McDonald's. I don't know what to do. I can't stop thinking about it. And it was the girl that was sat next to me, on the table next to me.
Oh, so loads of people had witnessed
She'd seen it too. I messaged her, I was like, I was a girl next to you. She was like, I can't believe what we saw. I said, I know. I said, I phoned social. So we both reported it to social services and to the police. And hopefully something was done about it. Obviously we never found out, because it's not our business.
Yeah, that is just disgusting.
But I couldn't believe it. Just
because we're their carers.
What are you doing to that little boy in private? If you're punching him in public,
literally. Like when this incident I see was nowhere near as bad as that. It was just a lady in Tesco, and you could obviously tell. Food shopping with kids is just hell anyway. Like, it is hell. But she literally just smacked the little boy. Oh, was it a little girl? I think it was brother and sister. She just like smacked the little boy on the bum, but like a proper smack. Like, literally, and I was just like, oh my God, I did not know where to look. I was just so embarrassed, like, I did not know where to look. And obviously that was out in public. So you think, what are they doing? Like, behind closed doors? Like, I get you get on the naughty step, or mummy's going to smack your bum in a minute, but to actually go, especially punching the little boy in the face, like in the head, like, calling him a little prick and things, like, that, you just think, what is that little boy going to turn out like when he's older?
This is it.
Do you know what I mean? Because they're
got this fucked up society, but let's be serious. Very rarely you're born a bully. Very rarely you're born a murderer. All these horrible things that people turn out to be. We are responsible for how our children turn out. 99% of how they turn out is on us.
I completely
There's
agree
a 1% that yes, they can get from other people, or they could have something going on
and things, but it is mainly from us. Yeah, definitely. They are literally a little mini us.
Yeah, they're sponges.
We are literally what they turn out to be like when they're older is mainly going to be coming from us.
So I'm fucked when Penelope's a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, I'm fucked.
Basically, I need to start disciplining my children, but not in that way. Like,
no.
I completely agree with you about the fact that it is abuse.
So anyway, moving on from that conversation, the next one that we asked was, do you share your kids on social media?
Yeah, I always have.
Most people, 70% said yes all the time. 27% said rarely, they like to keep them private. And I've got a few friends who sometimes they'll share their kid or on a private story between close friends, but you don't see much of their kids on their social media.
Or block their faces out.
Yeah, just the back of their heads. There was one vote, so 3% said no, never. Which, I mean, to be honest, I think fair play to all of these answers. I don't have an opinion on it, but mine is I share Penelope all the... She's fucking viral on TikTok.
Yeah, she is.
She's on 2.1 million views.
Go P! Woo!
Yeah, like, my child is going to be on TV at some point. I'm telling you that for free, because she's just hilarious. And that is probably the biggest reason why I share her, because she is the funniest person I fucking know. I'm like, I can't just keep this all to myself. I want to share this with the world.
I get why people don't know.
I do. 100%.
I never used to, because I always have since I've been a baby. But now I've got the 2 children, and because the world we live in is so fucked up, there are points when I'm thinking, I don't want to share that, and I always make sure I cover her like nursery uniform, little badge up and things like that. And I think because my profile used to not be on private, and I think any fucking weirdo can like look at pictures of my children's, and I do completely understand why people don't share their children on social media.
I do.
But I trust the people that I've got on my social media, and like I want people to see how funny my children are and how amazing they are. So I do share them, but I completely understand why people don't, because
do you not think
it's a fucking
though,
weird world we live in now?
It is a weird world we live in, but do you not think if your reasoning for not showing them on social media is because you don't want people looking at them, well then don't leave the house. Like it's, you could go to a supermarket and be served every single time you go by the same person, and that person could be a paedophile and you don't know about it, and they could be conversating with your child.
Yeah,
so
true.
Sharing them on social media, no, not sharing them on social media, I don't understand how that's protects them, because we're in a big wide world where they could be viewed any fucking way.
Yeah, but people
can't,
obviously when you take them out of the house, people can obviously screenshot pictures of them.
But someone could get a sneaky photo of your kids.
Yeah, if I see someone taking a sneaky photo, they'd be fucking flawed and they're fucking you know what I mean? But people, you don't know what weirdos are behind the screen.
I totally respect people who don't share it.
There could be that weirdo who's going to screenshot a picture of a kid and things like that.
Yeah, I just don't understand how we can, you know, I understand protecting our children, but in the world we live in where everything's so accessible. Like, but no, totally respect to anybody who doesn't want to share their kid on social media. I have no opinion on that. I think good for everybody to do what's right for you.
Yeah, but I definitely do share my children.
I do.
There's obviously things I don't post online. There's things that I just want to keep between my family and my close friends. But the majority of things I will like put on my story and things. Something that everyone needs to see how funny she's being.
Yeah.
She said something cute today, so I've got to take a video. And my phone's always in my hand, and Harper's always like, "Mummy, film me," or "Mummy, take a picture of me." Because it's a different generation that we live in now.
It is. Please start doing that now. Everywhere we go, she'll go, "Mummy, will you just get a quick photo of me? Should we take a selfie, Mummy?"
That's exactly what Harper does. Or she'll be sitting. She'll see my phone's on, and she'll be sitting there like this. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm waiting for you to take a photo."
So funny, isn't it? Right, so the next one that we asked was co-sleeping, yes or no? What did you answer? To get a good night's sleep?
Yeah.
Mine's yes, and I love it.
Yeah, no, I don't like doing it in the long, because I've done it with both of them, and at the moment, like for instance, Sophia got up at 4 o'clock this morning. I needed that extra hour in bed, so she got in bed with me. But I don't get any better sleep when she co-sleeps with me anyway. So and I'm not for it and I'm not against it, but it doesn't really work in my house.
So we had 57% of people say sometimes I do just to get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that's me.
27% of people said no fucking way, which I mean more power to you.
Yeah.
But 16%, I was one of them, said yes, absolutely love it. I love sleeping with P. I have done since she was a newborn baby. She's probably gone into her own room 2 or 3 times. Had little stint, not like 2 or 3 nights,
but
2 or 3 little stints of like a week or so in her bedroom, and then she's back in mine. But I've pretty much been single since I've had her, and I've had no reason to not have her in my bed. So it started off to get a better night's sleep, but we just have grown so close in bed. I just love her in my bed now. When she stays out for the night and I'm in that bed on my own, I really miss her. I sometimes, she's got a lovely bedroom with a lovely bed, and she's asked me a few times over the last couple of months, "Can I stay in my room tonight?" And I'm literally like, "No." Well, you can if you want, but I mean, you haven't got a TV in your room.
And it's scary.
And I'm like, I'm watching a Disney film in bed tonight, so I mean, it's fine. You can stay in your room.
So it's for you then.
It's for me.
Yeah. So you're co-sleeping because it's for you.
To be fair though, when she does on occasion sleep in her own bedroom, she always wakes up. She never sleeps the night through in her own room. She'll always wake up about 3 hours later and come and get into my bed.
Yeah.
So she wants to be in there as well.
It's a full night's sleep you get.
Yeah, full night's sleep. She does the kid does 12 hours, mate. She's a good sleeper. I have to drag her out of bed in the morning.
I can't imagine what it'd feel like for my baby.
But I just love cuddling her in bed. It's so comforting. I have such a nice sleep with her next to me, cuddling up to me, and I just love it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
If
and
it works for you,
will be sad the day when she no longer
sleeps
sleeps in my bed. I'll be sad.
If it works for you, then honey, do it. But it doesn't work for me when I do it.
It doesn't work for most people.
They kick me in the head.
Yeah.
They and they both sleep that way, and they take the covers. So even though I'm not getting much sleep when they're in their own beds, when I do put them in my bed, I'm still not getting much sleep anyway. So I'm thinking I've just got to persist with getting them back in their bed, getting them back in their bed.
There's 2 of yours as well.
Yeah,
if I had
2,
it'd be a different story probably.
And Harper will wake up in the night and then she'll look down at the bottom bunk and Fia's not there, and she'll scream, "Mummy, Mummy, why am I on my own? Come and get me in your bed." So it's like I'm really trying to get them both. But there are times when I wake up, like even this morning, I needed that extra couple of hours sleep. So Fia got in my bed with me at like 4 o'clock this morning. Yeah. But I didn't get much sleep because like she was pulling my hair, kicking me. If she slept like cuddled up next to me and slept through for 12 hours, she'd be in my bed every night.
She's got her arms around my neck, she's tickling me, she's like snuggling into me, telling me she loves me. I'm like, oh, I just cherish this.
Because you need your sleep, so if it's giving you 12 hours sleep.
I get she doesn't disturb me at all. I have a shit asleep when she's not in my room.
Then it works for you.
But I think what I want to do is she starts school in September. I think I want to get her in her bedroom full time for when she starts school, and I think I just want to do that just as a bit of an independence thing for her. She's going to be away from me a lot more than she's used to. Obviously, like, I would love to keep her in my bed, but I just think maybe the month before she starts school, so in like July sort of time when she turns 4, try and get her in her own room. Give
what
her that
about when
little
you
bit
meet someone?
Independent. Well, it would be different obviously when I meet someone. I did have a stint where I was with a guy for a few months, and he would stay at mine, I would stay at his. I wouldn't have Penelope in the bed with me with him.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right.
No.
I think that's like that's crossing a line there. Definitely. There's like boundaries.
And you need your own space with the guy.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she was sleeping in her own bed then, but her sleep was so disturbed. I was in and out, in and out 3 or 4 times during the night, and more often than not, I would end up just in her bed with her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I were to meet a guy and be in a relationship where he was there here
Staying
overnight,
over.
where Penelope was here, like absolutely, we would not be sharing beds. But that's not something I'm thinking about right now. Until I meet somebody, that's not something I'm even going to bother thinking about. I know I wouldn't share the bed, the 3 of us. I know that I don't. That's, that's a boundary for me.
Definitely not right.
But yeah, until I get to that bridge, there's no point trying to cross it. But yeah, before she starts school, I think I would like her in her own bedroom overnight, just for independence.
And a little routine.
Give her a little bit better routine, because waking up in the morning, because our bed is so warm, we're so cosy, it's so fucking hard getting her up, even for nursery. With school, I want to be able to go in her room at this time, turn on her lights, time to get up, baby, school, let's get dressed. Whereas in my bed, it's so easy to get quiet. Yeah, I'm going to need all the luck.
Good luck with that. It's going to be like having a newborn all over again, back into the routine of getting her in their own bed.
Yep. Next question, is your kid a picky eater?
Yes.
Are yours picky?
Fia's not. Fia will eat anything you put in front of her. She's so good. But Harper never used to be, but now she's at the age where she knows what foods are, and she knows what a vegetable is. Yeah. Oh my god.
She don't like veggies.
No. She'll eat them. Like, she does like them, but obviously
she says she doesn't.
She says she doesn't like them. So every night she'll have broccoli. Every single night with something she'll have broccoli. Other vegetables as well, but I always make sure she'll have broccoli. She's like, I don't like broccoli. I'm like, well, you ate it last night and the night before, and you had it for lunch. But it's because she knows, obviously at nursery they're learning like good foods and bad foods, so she knows that that's a good food and it's a healthy food. So she's like, no, I don't like it. But she's extremely picky.
So 57% of people said that the kids pick and choose when they're picky, a bit like that, and like Harper. 17% no, never, eats everything. 26% of people say yes, very much. I see a lot of people that I follow on my social medias, they've got very picky eaters. And it's really hard for them, like seeing their stories, like, is my kid going to eat this today? Has anyone got any advice? Like, I've never had to struggle with that. Penelope she eats everything.
Really?
She's got the best palate. Her favourite food that we have to consistently have in the fridge, or like we'll go to the shop, pick any snack you want, Pete, she'll buy chili olives.
Yeah, that is so...
She fucking loves chili olives.
I love olives.
I love olives.
I love Harper.
We go to Nando's, the first thing I order, we need a big bowl of olives, and she'll sit there.
They're the best olives, by the way.
And Costco.
Right. Oh my, yeah, because they are Nando's ones. They're the same. So good.
So good.
I can't believe she eats olives. That is so
Loves
good.
it.
I wish Harper would eat things like that.
Her favourite dinner, Thai green curry.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
but with
God.
Penelope, because it's always just been me and her. Like, I haven't got 3 kids to cook for, a boyfriend to cook for, anything. It's just me and her. She always has just eaten what I've eaten. So the second she went on to food, it was never chicken nuggets and microwave chips.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the odd occasion, I will bang something in the oven or the microwave, but we have home-cooked, homemade dinners every single night. That's what I like to eat. So that's what she has to eat.
Even
so
Harper
she eats everything I eat.
And she still doesn't. Like I cook homemade meals for them. Obviously, there are times where they have chicken nuggets and like I chuck stuff in the air fryer if it's like a Friday night or whatever. But every night I cook fresh homemade meals, and I'll eat the same with her, and she still won't eat it.
Well, I mean, I say Penelope eats everything. I think that this age, with the testing, she does test sometimes. Like last night, she asked for spaghetti bolognese, so I made us a spaghetti bolognese. She started eating it. Mummy, I just don't like the meat in there. I said, Penelope, it's burger. Yeah. It's burger mashed up. You do like it. You eat this all the time. I'm not eating it, Mummy, I don't like it. I said, that's fine then, you don't get your cake after. Like, this is what I mean with the choices. Yeah. If you don't eat that, if you decide you don't like that today and you're not eating it, don't think you're getting something else afterwards, because you ain't, kid. You can have a bit of fruit.
And will you actually go through with that if she doesn't eat it?
Yeah.
I say that all the time, and I still give her the treat after.
I never have to go through with it, because she makes the right decision.
Right, yeah.
Because she knows, Mummy don't fuck about, and I don't fuck about. She knows that if it did get to that point, I'd be like, you're not having cake. You can go and get banana.
Yeah, see, I'm easy. If she doesn't eat it, she'll refuse and refuse. I'm thinking, I'm not going to force her to eat it. So just don't eat it. But you'll be hungry. Yeah. I'm like, you're not having dessert. She'll be like, okay, then I'm not having dessert. And then I'm not giving her dessert.
You give her dessert?
Yeah. But when Lewis is around, he'll make her sit at the table until she finishes it. And that actually works. He's like, right, you're not leaving the table then. This is what I had to do when I was younger. You're not leaving the table until you eat all your dinner. And she'll be like, oh, obviously Thea eats everything. So she'll eat her dinner, get off and go and play. And then Harper's like, so she will say that does work for her, but I just can't do it because I'm just like, oh, if you don't want to eat it, don't eat it.
Yeah, I don't make her finish her dinners. That's probably something I should do, because she does always get hungry before bed, and I'm like, well, you didn't eat all your dinner. Yeah. She very rarely eats her whole dinner, like very rarely. If she ever does, I'm like, fucking hell, you made her whole dinner.
Same. I'm like, whoa, well done.
She like eats little and often. But yeah, like I said to her last night, you're eating that, or you're not having anything else. And I said to her as well, I'm not playing with you tonight then.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, Mummy. She sat and ate it all. And then even like, she was like, I'm done now. I said, that's fine, you've had enough. 5 minutes later, she's back eating more. So I'm like, I know you fucking like it.
She's just trying to
you're just trying to make some sort of altercation here where we can have a little tiff. And then
they love it, don't they?
Yeah,
they love having tiffs over
Did you
just
see
nothing.
that reel that I uploaded of her the other day where she told me she's moving out?
Yeah.
After that, honestly, after I stopped filming and I put it up as a reel, I watched it back. She was sat next to me watching going, that was so funny, wasn't it? She would do it again. I'm like, you actually love the drama.
She loves
the drama.
Bless them. Yeah, no, Harper's like that. I think they just want our attention all the time, don't they? So they're thinking, right, if I'm just going to refuse to eat that tonight,
any attention is good attention.
Yeah, of course
for children.
it is.
Any attention
because
is
she
good
knows
attention.
I'm going to sit next to her on the floor when she's eating her dinner and just feed her. She always wants me to feed her. So if she says to me, Mummy, I'm not eating it, I don't like it, I end up feeding her and doing the aeroplane and all that shit. So she probably just wants me to do that.
Yeah.
Because she wants me next to her.
Yeah, P does that. She'll eat a couple of spoons and she's like, Mummy, can you feed me, please?
Yeah.
And I'm like, she can feed herself.
Yeah, of course
she's perfectly capable of it, but I don't mind.
Yeah.
As long as you're eating, if I've got a spoon feed it into your mouth, then whatever.
Yeah.
Right, what was the next one? This is a really good one. I like this question. Who has it harder? Stay-at-home mums or working mums? What do you think?
I think stay at home. Oh, it depends what job you do, I guess, as well. It completely depends, and how long you're at the house, and how many children you have. Obviously, I think it depends on how many children you have. But I do think, I don't know, it is a hard one. But I think stay-at-home mums probably have it harder because a mum doesn't stop. Obviously, you can go to work 9 till 5, come home and switch off. The job's done. But when you're a mum, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop. There's something, like even last night, my babies went to bed at between 6 and 7. They was up being sick. They was up not sleeping. So there was no chill time. There's always something going on when you're a mum. There is constant. It doesn't stop. It does not stop. No. Sometimes I would
not even at bedtime.
No, of course it doesn't. And like we get like an hour to ourselves in the evening. Sometimes not even that. And when you're at work, you have that time and you're kid free and you can focus on your work. And
be an adult.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk to other adults.
Sometimes I do think I would love to go back to a 9 till 5 job, and obviously I wouldn't. I would miss my babies too much. But you get to switch off from that. When you're a parent and when you're a stay-at-home mum, there is no switching off.
No.
There's no getting away from it. You know, even the guys, they can have their commute home and they get to listen to what music they want, like pretend out loud. When the hell do we ever get to do anything like that? Like, it's just, I think the stay-at-home mums have it worse.
I couldn't make a decision. I kept going from one to the other. I mean, I'd say a stay-at-home mum.
Yeah.
I don't
we still work, but it's not like they're not in nursery full time and we don't do the 9 to 5.
Yeah, and we're self-employed and we work around sort of childcare. So I would definitely say I'm a stay-at-home mum. But I kept thinking, like, yes, it's really hard for us because we get it so full on, but like, think of all the benefits we get. We get all these years with our babies, and how lush is that? How lucky are we? We don't have to go out and be away from our kids for their whole fucking childhood.
Yeah.
To be able to pay the rent to keep their heads, dry. Do you know what I mean? But then I thought, so like so yeah, that would mean we have it.
Obviously, we get all them benefits.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to both, is what I'm trying to say. So working parents, they miss out on so much. They miss out on so much. So in a way, it's worse for them in terms of what they get to experience with their children.
Yeah.
But I think their lives are a hell of a lot fucking easier.
Yeah.
So in that way, like, stay-at-home mums have it worse. Our lives are so much harder, so much more full on, and we probably look 10 years older than the women that go to work 9 to 5s. But then the people who do go and work and they don't get to spend all the time with their children, I think they have it harder because they're missing out on so much.
Yeah.
They are pretty much working to put their children into childcare, or when they're at school age, they're having to figure out who the fuck picks the kid up at 3, because what jobs finish at 3?
Exactly, no full-time job finishes at 3.
Then what happens with the summer holidays?
On childcare.
Where do these kids go for 6 whole weeks of the year?
Yeah.
So they have it so much harder when it comes to that.
And obviously as well, depends what job, like if you've got a really hard job, it might be harder than being a stay-at-home mum or being a mum, but like they're missing out on a lot. But I do think being a mum is a 24/7
It's the hardest job I've ever done in my
Yeah.
life, and give me a 9 to 5 any day if I want an easy life, but obviously give me being a full-time mum for fucking the
It's
best
the
life
hardest
ever.
job, but the best job
The most
in the world.
rewarding thing
100%.
you could ever do is be a parent.
There are times when I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want a day off today, or just I would love to be the one that goes to work today and earn the money and all of this, but then I love it so much, but I just don't think we don't get any time off.
We don't. So if I was told like you have to pick one, I reckon stay-at-home mums have it harder.
Yeah.
Or stay-at-home parents have it harder. I do.
I don't think the men would say that, because obviously it depends on
well,
what job they
if
do.
you think of all the men that you know, how many of them stay at home while the woman goes out and works? I know they exist.
Yeah.
I don't know any.
any.
I don't know a single one.
No, I don't know any. Great if that there obviously are men out there that do that, and I think that's great, but I don't know any.
It's very far and few
personally.
between.
Yeah.
One, because of how society made the world, is the parent stays at home.
And for the women who
mum
have to go
stays
out
at home.
there and work, and all their wages go on childcare, that is so fucking unfair as well, because they're missing out on their children, and all their money is going to put them in childcare so someone else can look after them.
Working to live.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Really, really bad.
So we had 59% of people said stay-at-home parents have it harder. 41% thought working parents had it harder.
So quite close.
It's very close. No, I mean that's I think I was on the cusp as well, because
I can understand.
I think it can be so difficult for both, but so rewarding for both. But ultimately,
some people want to Some people want to leave their children and nest full-time, go to work.
And that's fine.
Yeah, some people pick their career over their children, and that's fine as well. But I personally, I want to be in that state, even though I do moan about it sometimes because it's fucking hard. Especially at this age, I don't want them to be in nursery full-time.
No, and I don't.
Because I'll be going to school soon, and I'm thinking, what the fuck am I going to... I'm literally going to be like, oh my God. I know it's only till 3, but...
I'm just cherishing these years that we've got with them.
Never get
0 to 4 is...
best.
These are the years that we have been given the opportunity to just nurture and love and play with our children.
Give them the best 4 years
and
before they
we're
go
so
to
lucky
school.
with our careers that we get to do that. Some people don't have a choice. They have to go back to their 9 to 5. That's really fucking sad.
And some people don't have the choice as well if they're like a complete single mum and they can't afford to go back to work. They've got to be, if they might not want to be a stay-at-home mum, and they've got to be because they can't afford the childcare. Yeah. They've got no other childcare. Do you know what I mean?
The government does not make it easy for women to go back to work.
Definitely.
If I were to go and get a 9 to 5 job Monday to Friday on just like a standard salary. What I would take home would literally pay for Penelope's childcare, and I would not have a fucking penny left afterwards. So I would be working to have my child brought up by someone else, basically. And I would have nothing else to show for it.
Nothing.
So it's not worth it in my eyes, unless you're on a very well-paid job or career, to go back to work full-time until they start school.
It's
not worth it.
Unless you are in a really higher...
where, maybe 30% of your wage covers their childcare, or you've got your partner helping you, and then you've got a load of money left afterwards for holidays and stuff. But more often than not, especially for single mums, that is not the fucking case.
No. And
You're
people
sent back
have
to
really
work.
good childcare, like their family and their friends can like just. I know people who go back to work full time, and instead of putting their child in nursery or a childminder, they've got family and friends who look after them. Like them people are really lucky as well.
So bloody lucky.
They know that their child's being looked after by someone they trust, and their money's not having to go on fucking extortionate amount of fucking childcare every month.
Yeah.
But I can understand why that's a close call. But
Yeah.
I personally think staying at home
Definitely.
is freaking tough.
It's hard work.
As much as I love it, and it is so rewarding.
So the last question that we asked was, what's the relationship like with your child's other parent? So 50% of people said fantastic, and I'm really glad to hear that. I'd love to see it. Good for you. Fucking go live your best life.
Yeah.
25% of people said we co-parent well. Again, that's really good. I think it's so important that you co-parent. It's obviously teaching your child about relationships, and you have a much fucking easier life.
Yeah.
14% of people said it's very bad, and 11% of people said it's non-existent. That doesn't surprise me. I thought that they'd be higher, if I'm completely honest. I thought they'd be higher.
People have probably lied in that, I think.
And I think people probably didn't answer as well as much as they did the other ones, because who wants to admit, like, especially if you're if you're with the person, who wants to then go on and publicly say, like, my relationship with my kid's dad, who I'm with, by the way, or married to, is really fucking bad.
Yeah, no one's going to admit that.
Yeah, so maybe they're a bit off, those statistics, but yeah, I definitely thought very bad or non-existent would be higher. I mean, I put it's pretty bad.
It's getting better though, isn't it?
It's getting better, I will give it that. It is getting so much, it's the best it's ever been at the moment, and long shall it continue, but it's been fucking horrific, and it's been a horrible ride trying to get here to where we are, but I'm thankful that I am where I am now. You know, I'm so much peace in my mind about it. Obviously there's things that come up regularly that we're going to disagree on, or maybe have to have conversations about, but that is parenting, whether it's good or bad. Like, that's just parenting. But yeah, I can say now, I can honestly say I am in the best place I've probably ever been at the moment with co-parenting.
Good.
Which is fucking fantastic, because like, it takes a weight off of me. I'm a much happier person. Penelope's so much happier. And I just want to live my life and get on with my fucking life.
Yeah.
Just
without all that bullshit.
Without all the bullshit.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I fucking feel for anybody who's going through the real hard times at the moment. Because
it's so fucking
vile.
hard. Isn't it? It's so
like
hard.
court, I've been in and out of court since Penelope was born. It's been like so traumatic on me. She obviously don't know any different about it. She won't know until she's older, because I'd keep all that away from her. Like, I would never even say a bad word about her dad in front of her. Just, as far as she's concerned, he's my best fucking mate.
Yeah, which is, I think, is so important as well.
That's all I remember from my childhood is my mum bigging up my real dad. Yeah. Being so kind about him. And now I'm older. Well, I'm an adult now. I have no relationship with him. I know he's an absolute prick.
Yeah.
But that wasn't my childhood that I had a bad dad. It was that I had an amazing mum, I had an amazing stepdad, and my mum just told me kind things about my dad, and that's what I want for my little girl. So I've always been, you know, that as hard as it's been sometimes, I sat there one time and I cried to my mum and I said, I cannot be nice about this man.
Yeah.
It's a lie. She said, Emma,
you've got to be.
The one thing my dad told me when her and my dad were splitting up, my granddad used to say to her, it was, you do not slag that man off to your children. You do not.
I do
and
not.
She didn't. She never did. And I would never.
Same.
I would never now.
Because at the end of the day, that is your own child's mind you're poisoning. And even if you might be an arsehole and you might not be around, that's their dad.
They're innocent.
They're innocent. Well. They don't need to know that their dad does this and does that. Like, they need to love both their parents, no matter what the fuck is happening between them. I don't understand why people do that. Like, I just think, I've been in situations like that before where he's not been around, and I could be like, oh, where's daddy? I'd be like, well, he's not around again, but I'm like, oh, he's at work, or don't worry, like mummy and daddy love each other. Because they just don't need to know what is going on between the parents. They just want a happy mum and a happy dad. That's all that should matter to them. So when mums are like slagging off their partners and shit and saying it, I just think
your dad fucking hates you. Like, he don't want to see you.
That is awful. Like, their dad might be an arsehole, but your child does not need to know that.
No, they'll figure it out when they're big enough and old enough to deal with the emotions that brings.
And it makes you look like a worse parent. If you're sat there slagging off their dad, when they get older, they're going to be like, what the hell was my mum doing? Like, it's going to make you look like a fucking shit mum.
For sure.
Like, I just don't get why
I did some reading up about, like, I was studying something at the time, and like I found out that when you slag off the other parent to the child at a young age, like what our kids kind of are, where they're sponges and they're taking it all in, they take on that personality that you are creating of the other parent. I hope I'm explaining this right. So say, like as an example, if I was to say, kids at this age, they know that they're half you, they're half their dad. So they try and be like you, and they try and have your, you know, your traits and things like that, and they're picking up on it all. So if you sit there and you drum into your child that the other parent is whatever they are, a prick, horrible, nasty, all these things, they actually take that on into their own personality, and they start to believe that they're like that.
Yeah.
It's so it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, this is studies that have proven that children do this. So if you sit there and you create this persona of the other parent, you're damaging your child, because your child is ultimately, you know, figuring out that it's half and half of you, half of them, and it's taking on all of those names and traits that you're giving this other parent. They're taking it on as their own self, and they're going to feel so shit about themselves. A lot of people don't know that, because that's not common knowledge. That's something I learned through like really, really reading up on this stuff. I think I read up on it because Penelope came home once and said her dad had said something about me, and I just thought, that's not nice. Like, I know you think that of me, but
don't say it to our daughter.
So I was doing a bit of research on how can this affect them, and that's when I found all that out. It makes perfect sense.
It definitely makes sense. That at the end of the day, they love their mum and dad, so they do not need to be involved in whatever goes on behind closed doors when they're not around.
No,
I don't think that's right.
I agree. Yes. Well, that was the last question that we asked anyway, but we did put a question box up for some funny stories. I had a really horrific thing happen last week, and it involves poo, so I'm going to go first.
Again, more poo?
I haven't even told you about this. I'm just not going to tell you.
Oh my god, I can't deal with any more shit in my life.
My life literally consists of picking up shit. I go to the litter tray, I pick out the cat shit. Then Penelope needs a shit. She doesn't want to go upstairs, so she does it in the potty. I then take her shit upstairs to the toilet. I flush her shit and I clean the shit out. Come downstairs, the puppy's done a shit on the fucking pee mat. So then I have to clear that shit away. Then my big dog wants to go in the back garden for a shit. By this time, I need a fucking shit. I'm just a shit picker-upper.
Yeah, that's the part of being a mum, and that fucking picking up shit.
So anyway, last week, me and P, it was the evening, we were starting to get ready for bed, in the bathroom brushing our teeth. The plug in my bath is like a one that comes out fully, so I just take it out when I'm emptying the bath, because it just the water leaves quicker. So anyway, it was out. She got this little plastic ball that Squishy came in a bath bomb. And she was sat there brushing her teeth next to me, and she just looked at me and she picked it up and she threw it in the bath, and she looked over and she knew exactly what would happen. We both watched it roll down, go down the plug hole. I was like, Penelope, what have you done that for? She was like, oh, I'm sorry, Mummy, I didn't know it would go down the plug hole.
I did.
Did it go down the plug hole? I was thinking, you're such a cunt. You know it would fucking, you watched it, you done it, you watched me.
Down the plug hole.
You watched me, watch it go down the plug hole. So I was like, for Christ's sake, P, that's going to block the whole bath. So I was like so stressed out. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, Mummy, you can get it out. She go, Mummy, you're so strong, you can do this. That was one of like a kill you moments. So I was like, right, I got a bobby pin, I was like trying to poke it out of the plug, like literally couldn't get it out. In the end, I got so angry, I was like trying to smash it because it's plastic. I was like hitting it with a bobby pin, I've pushed it down further and I've wedged it in the U-bend at the bottom of the bath. So I'm thinking, right, I've got to take the bath apart now. So I literally pulled out all the side of the bath. I'm like sweating. I was just ready to go to bed. I was like so relaxed.
Just wanted a nice relaxing bath.
Behind me going, Mummy, I'm so sorry. I just didn't mean to do this. I was like, it's fine. Just need to fix it. So yeah, pulled all the side of the bath out. Like, had to get underneath the bath with Penelope climbing on me. Mummy, can you see? Yeah. Mummy, is there anything else down there? Got the fucking puppy in the hallway barking at me. So anyway, took all the bath apart, all the water soaked out on the floor. I had to chuck a fucking towel underneath to try and like soak it up. Managed to get the U-bend out, got it in the sink, like shoved there was a fucking toy fish in there, there was a squish it, there was copious amounts of hair, like absolutely vile amounts of hair. So got all of that out, and then I had to put it back on, but it's so fiddly and twisty. Like I was trying for, honestly, I'm not even joking, about 40 minutes. I was like sweating, I nearly cried. I couldn't get it back on. I tried the tap, all the water was still leaking. I was like, we're never going to be able to bath again. So in the end, I couldn't, I was like, I'm going to have to do this tomorrow when she's in nursery or wherever she was going the next day. I'm going to get it fit, sort it out the next day. So I just put it on temporarily, like put the bathtub back in. I thought, right, can we go to fucking bed now? Walked out the bedroom, gone into P's room. P hasn't got a door in her room at the moment because it's fucking hanging off the hinges. It's been like it for 2 weeks. Actually gets fixed today. But she had no door in her bedroom, so it's kind of just balancing. Usually her bedroom door will be closed. So I thought, right, I'll go in her bedroom quick, get her pyjamas. I walk in the bedroom and there's puppy shit everywhere. Oh. The puppy, while I was doing all this, got into her bedroom, shat all over the floor, decided to run in it and ran around her whole bedroom, all on her bed. He was sitting on the bed quilt like this. There was shit all over the fucking bed, all over the carpet. Literally, I just screamed. He was looking at me like, I was like, ah!
That's when I would have been like, dog, I'm going to smack your bum.
I was literally like, get out of her room! To the dog, like, dragged the dog out downstairs. I was like, fucking, what is going on? So yeah, then I had to go and get tissue. Like, people was like, Mummy, what's that smell? And like, if you hadn't blocked the fucking bath, this never would have happened. So yeah, I had to clean all the dog shit up off her beds, like, she don't sleep in her room. Obviously, I can't leave like shitty bedding on there, so I had to clean it all, like, clean all the carpets. Yeah, so from what went from like going to brush our teeth to have a nice early night, went in a fucking full-time plumber.
Yeah.
And kind of clearing up a bedroom full of dog shit. I can't tell you the last time I was as stressed as I was then. It was like the worst evening.
That sounds like my last Monday of the shit. I don't even want to go there again. It was just disgusting. But yeah, I know exactly how you feel. It's just
horrible.
Literally vile.
It's just like, am I being tested right now? Am I being actually tested? That's what I felt like.
Someone wrote this story, which is really funny. One of my friends, I thought, this is so relatable. This was really funny. She was sat in the bath with her daughter one night, it's about a year ago, and she thought, so her daughter was behind her in the bath, and she thought her daughter was washing her back. She was like, oh, like, lovely, oh, giving mummy a little massage in the bath. And then all of a sudden the smell hit her, and she was like, oh my God. So her daughter had been rubbing her shit in her back. Instead of rubbing, she thought she was like rubbing soap, giving her a lovely massage, but her daughter obviously shit in the bath, got the poo, and was massaging her back with shit. I was like, oh my God. That made me feel so much better, because I was thinking, why are my children the only ones who smear the shit in on their bedroom walls? Imagine, at least she was in the bath, so at least she could like got the plug out and like rinse herself off. But I'm thinking, how funny.
That's disgusting.
That's
so worse.
Funny.
I'd rather have poo put on me and then me go off, take myself off to the shower than be in a hot bath with shit.
Oh no, I'd rather have it so I could clean it up and it. No, I mean I'd rather be in the bath because then you're like you can clean it away and it doesn't get anywhere else.
With the shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's basically all over you anyway. It's in your bedroom. So I just thought that was so funny.
That is funny. Yeah, kids are creatures. We got some funny ones.
They are literally feral. I love all the stories that everyone's been writing in. But that was really funny.
We had another one. Was invited to a bloggers event. My eldest had bowel issues at the time. Did a poo in the maze, and she had to pick up the poo and put it in her coffee cup and carry it around with her. There was no bin.
Oh
she
my
had to
God!
Carry around her kids' shit in a coffee cup while she was talking to people. Still, that was a really funny one.
That is funny.
Another one, when potty training, the little one pooed in the garden. I explained that they needed to do it in the potty, but they said that they saw the dogs doing it in the back garden, so what can you say back to that? That's fair.
That's fair.
Penelope's done a few poos and wees in the garden. She went for a stage of thinking she was a dog.
What do you say to that though? Because that is so, that is so clever. Like, your dog's doing shit in the garden, you can't be like, oh.
Do you know what? I wasn't mad.
You're not a dog, but you're right.
I just said like, you shouldn't really do it there. Come on.
Yeah.
If we were playing in the garden in the summer and she needed a wee and she'd be up there, can I just wee here? I'd be like, yeah, go on then. Boys do it.
Yeah, boys
do
it.
Boys piss in bushes and pavements around corners. Like, I just thought, yeah, take a piss. Is when she started pooing, squatting down on the concrete. I'd look out in the garden, she'd be out there squatting down having a shit. I'd be like,
that's what Fia does. Fia once when Fia, they was having their dinner and she didn't have a nappy on because I'm slowly trying to start to potty train her. And I was upstairs having a wee and I could hear Harper shouting, Mummy, quick, come down, yuck. And so I run downstairs thinking, oh my God, what the fuck has happened? And they were both sat on the table having their dinner and I was like, what's going on? And she goes, look on the table. Fia had obviously got up off the table, done a big massive shit, picked it up and put it next to Harper's dinner plate. I was like, oh, my Harper goes, poo. And then again, Thea just laughed, like, ha, poor Harper, she's trying to eat her dinner, and then she's got her sister's big poo next to her. I was just like, oh my God.
That's enough to put you off.
Yeah, then I stopped potty training for a while, and I just thought, I'll just go back to it again like another time. But I'm trying to do it again now. I'm thinking I may as well potty train a puppy and a baby.
Yeah.
So at least get it all out in one go. But it's just, she just stands and like literally wheezes on the carpet. And then she plays with her potty, so where Harper just didn't do that. Harper knew exactly where to go for a wee and a poo.
He did.
Yeah, she just picked it up straight away.
Didn't train her, put a potty out, and she started using it.
Harper,
Wow.
literally, I think she only had like 2 accidents in the whole of the time she's potty training. Thea just does it to piss me off because she'll laugh, and they're just so different, so different.
Menace.
Yeah, literally.
We had a few people saying that their kids get their poo out their nappies and they smear it everywhere. So you're
yeah,
not
I'm so
alone
glad
with
because
this.
I
You're
honestly
not.
thought this has just got to be some kind of sick joke. She must literally hate me. But and this is not about children, but I have to mention it because it's so funny. I took the girls and the dogs on a walk on Sunday. What have you done in this situation? So it was a Sunday, so loads of dog walkers about. And as soon as we got out the car onto the grass bit, Loki, my French bulldog, done a massive shit right on the grass, and it was a runny, steamy, wet one. And I was like, oh, looking in my pockets, like, shit, I haven't got any dog poo bags. Why did I not bring any dog poo bags? Because I have to leave the house with 2 kids and 2 dogs. I obviously forgot the fucking dog poo bags. And then I'm thinking, looking around, going, right, I'm going to leave this, looking around, and then everyone just stood there like, you're going to pick that up. Obviously they didn't say it, but that was what they looked at me like, is she going to pick that up? And I was thinking, yeah, just going to get my poo bag. Hold on a minute. Didn't have one. I had the TK Maxx receipt, which was about this fucking big, so it was from a return. So it was like this big. I was like, spending down, pretending I had my poo bag picked up. Obviously, it didn't fill the receipt, so I'm walking around with this big shit. Harper was like, Mummy, where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? I was like, oh my God.
Did you just have to hold it?
I just had to hold it for ages. And I was thinking,
was it hot?
It was warm, hot. And at the time I had longer nails. This is why I've cut all my nails down. Because obviously I had shit in all of my nails. I was like, I can't have that. Nice. So yeah, I was walking around the corner thinking, where's the fucking poo bin? There was no poo bin. And I finally got round the corner and there was like no other dog walkers. So I literally just launched it in the bush. Yeah. I was like, oh my God. Obviously, if them people weren't there, I know it's bad, but I would have had to leave it.
Well,
then I got back to the car and in the back of the boot, there was nappy sacks. I was like, you're joking, that is just my fucking luck. So I could have run back to the car and got a nappy sack, but...
Why didn't you, like, if that is a really funny story, but why didn't you just ask someone, have you got a poo bag?
As soon as it happened, I was thinking that.
Because that's what I would have done.
Because there was, obviously everyone, they had their little doggy,
people
have
had
their
it before,
clippy things.
I've had it before where my dog's done a shit. I very rarely take poo bags out with me because... Honestly, I just don't really pick up the poo. Like, I know I get fined
50 quid, and people are funny with that now.
Yeah, I got fined for putting a cigarette on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that ages ago.
I never paid it. They haven't come for me.
I remember that.
Probably a warrant out for my arrest.
But yeah, I couldn't have left this.
Yeah, I would have. I'd have literally just gone and asked somebody if I can have a poo. I'd just been like, I forgot my poo bag. I do it with like wet wipes and everything. I forget shit all the time.
I was just so
literally go up to the nearest person and be like, can I have some wet wipes?
I was just embarrassed, and it just that at the time didn't come to me. And then obviously after it happened, I was so traumatised with it. And I was like, why didn't I just ask one of the professional fucking dog walkers for a poo bag? Because everyone who was looking at me would have had a poo bag.
They would have all had
poo bags. I was thinking, oh no.
You panic in the moment.
Yeah, and I just picked it up, and then I was like, oh my God, this is actually vile.
I would have probably if like I didn't have anything to get it with, and I didn't think to go and ask someone, like I wouldn't have stopped person. I would have just sat down next to it and just been like, not moved until everyone who had seen had left. Yeah. And then I would then just get up and move.
No, it was outside the cafe. There was like a little dog walking cafe. So
where did you go? How far?
Yeah. So everyone who was sat in the cafe with their coffees was watching me. Yeah. So I was just like, oh my God. But I did think after, like, why didn't I just ask like a fucking adult, can I have a poo bag, please? But at the time, yeah, full on embarrassed. And I was fully equipped. Like we all had our wellies on. I had the dog in the bag. I literally had the dog on the lead.
Did you have a tripod?
No, I didn't have a tripod. I took that photo.
Oh, I know. I thought that photo.
I know. God, I couldn't have taken a bloody tripod, a dog, and
a tripod, but not a poo bag.
I definitely wouldn't have took a tripod. Because obviously on the way back from the walk, I had to carry Thea and the dog, and you walked the dog. So no, I definitely didn't have a tripod. Harper took that lovely photo. But yeah, that was really funny. But wow. Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up because
we're rambling on about dog walks now.
This has been an interesting one. I've enjoyed this one. But yeah, so
still send us in your embarrassing stories. So
yeah, anything that happens on a daily that's fucking ridiculous, please send to us because we will be every now and again just be doing like podcasts just about shit that's happened this week.
Hopefully it won't
funny.
all literally be about shit, because that seems to be our life at the moment. Dog poo, baby poo. But yeah, we love hearing all your stories, so keep sending them in to us.
We do. And thank you so much for tuning in again.
And we'll see you next week.
We will. Bye.